Hello everyone and welcome to the UK's only TV programme dedicated to mental health and wellbeing topics, the Chrissy B Show. Now, something we try our best to do here on this programme is help people however we can, and today we're going to be treating another very special individual to a makeover. Now, she's been through a very tough time. We're going to meet her later. Her name is Leah Paiva, and she experienced heartbreak in her first marriage and is here to tell her story of how she has now met the love of her life. Now, if you know someone who deserves a makeover, you can get in touch with us via the website chrissybshow.tv. You can also tweet us at Chrissy B Show or leave a message on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. And you can even nominate yourself. It's perfectly fine. If you feel like you need some relaxation time to get away from it all and to be spoiled rotten on this show, do get in touch. Now, first, let's go to the news with Candice Latouche. Welcome to the show, Candice.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So I've got some news prepared for you this evening, Chrissy. I've got a few different bits. I want to start first of all talking about low self-esteem, because I know this show is about confidence this evening, and low self-esteem is something that we talk about quite a bit. But I'm not going to spend so much time on it this evening, but just to give you some stats. So lookpositive.co.uk, they've said that 60% of adults report feeling ashamed of the way they look. Which 60% of adults report feeling ashamed of the way they look. High. And that was the Centre of Appearance Research in 2012, which is quite high. Regardless, I know there's lots of people out there, we hear a lot about self-esteem, but 60% is very high. 70% of adult women and 40% of adult men report that they have felt pressure from television and magazines to have the perfect body, and that's again from the same research, which I think we kind of know. We've heard a lot about magazines and a lot about people feeling that they have to compare themselves to celebrities, so we hear quite a bit about that, and it's estimated that roughly 2/3 of adults suffer from negative body image. And that was from the All Parliamentary Group on Body Image Report in 2012. So, yeah, shocking. And those stats are quite shocking. However, I kind of think we hear this quite a bit, that we hear a lot about low self-esteem and the effects that this can negatively have on mental health. So I wanted to kind of talk about a different view on it this evening. And that was actually overconfidence, which I think can be a huge problem. So overconfidence, and I started looking at politicians and politics. So confidence is always good, but there are dangers to overconfidence. So for example, I was reading whatispolitics.co.uk, so that's a website that I was looking at, and I was reading about something that happened in 1992. So I was only 5 at this time. It was April 1990, so I was only 5 years old, so I didn't actually know anything about this. And when I read the story, I was like, oh, okay, I do see how overconfidence can be a danger. So it was 1 week before elections, and the Labour Party were ahead. So they had this Sheffield rally, and the report said that the Labour Party were ahead 1 week before, and they'd really shown there'd be overconfidence. So one by one, members of the shadow cabinet were introduced on stage as the next Home Secretary, and then the next Chancellor of the Exchequer, and so on and so forth, until finally, after arriving via helicopter, someone arrived via helicopter, the elections haven't even happened yet, the next Prime Minister stepped out, and this was at the time Labour leader Neil Kinnock, and he was made to call the speech. So what the site was even saying, that was kind of cringeworthy, the speech that he then made, and he was, they'd already branded themselves as the next celebrating already, when they hadn't even achieved anything, which to me comes across as arrogance, which is a danger of overconfidence, because what then happened the next week is that the Conservatives won. So, yeah, exactly, which, confidence is really important. It's really important. People are really attracted to confident people. The problem is when it comes to overconfidence.
It's off-putting, I think.
It can be really off-putting.
It's attractive to a certain extent, and then when it's just overdone, it's just horrible.
Exactly, and to me that can affect your mental health as well, because if you're someone who's constantly overconfident, you put yourself in these situations where you've told the whole world, oh, I'm going to have this thing, or this is going to happen, or I'm going to go to a job interview and I'm definitely going to get it, and kind of being confident is good, but kind of maybe people who throw it in people's faces, or they already start to spend loads of money when they haven't even made that money yet, and then that thing falls through. That fall down or that come down can actually quite I can imagine
can cause issues.
Can actually cause
and actually some people
issues.
seem overconfident because there's an insecurity there in the first place, and they're just trying to cover it up.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I wanted to talk about that in terms of politics, and especially nowadays with our politicians. We know that there's something coming up where the politicians there's going to be a new election, and so these politicians do have to be very confident. But we know there's issues in the press at the moment. Obviously, David Cameron went through some things. There was some things about his family, and maybe that overconfidence of like, oh, no one's going to find out. Yeah. That kind of, when you're putting yourself there in the public eye, you need to be confident, but at the same time, overconfidence that maybe things won't come to light or things like that can really cause issues. So it's really important for us to make sure that if we're being confident, that we have a reason to be confident.
And balanced.
And balanced. You might have to make sure you're balanced. So finally, what I wanted to talk about was overconfidence when it comes to applying for jobs.
Okay.
This may sound like really, really extreme. So TheGuardian.com did a report on graduates and their CVs. And so higher education degree data check, HEDD, surveys students and the graduates about degree fraud. And the third, embellish or exaggerate their degree qualifications. Now, this to me is something that is really important to discuss nowadays, because everyone's fighting for a new job. Yeah. Everyone's fighting to progress in life. But for me, this came across slightly worrying, because part of the report actually said, that's actually like looking around at all of your colleagues that you have and knowing that a third of them haven't done what they say they've done. Which, on one side, is really bad for the employer, but on the other side, it's really bad for the person.
It is.
Because they can put themselves in a situation that they've said they've done all these things. And in a way, people may embellish. So for example, I don't know, someone in customer sales or someone who's done something like that. Maybe they've only liaised with customers once or twice. And they can put that on their CV, because that's not really something major that you're going to need a degree for, to kind of talk to customers. But then to say, for example, let's say your company's sales increased. So company sales increased by 14% over a period of time. But maybe you posted once on social media. So then you say on your CV, through social media, I was able to boost company sales by 14%. So that next company you go to, they're actually going to expect that you can do that.
This is the thing, and it can cause serious issues. You really have to be careful what you put on LinkedIn, what you put on any social media site, because that will be asked of you.
Yeah, and it causes serious problems.
And then it's going to ruin your confidence. It's going to bring you down, because then all of a sudden you'll feel all this pressure. You can't cope with the work. You can't actually do what you said you could do. And then there's all other issues come up, and then if you keep doing that, you're going to have the same pattern going on to your next job and the one after.
Exactly.
And it just causes a big mess. Better to be honest. Don't downplay what you do, obviously, but just be honest about what you do. I prefer someone to say to me, look, I don't have experience in this, but I'm willing to learn. I'm really passionate about blah, blah, blah. For me, that's fine. You don't have to have all this experience. It's good, but, if you're passionate about something, you make a way, don't you? You find a way.
And I completely agree. And what was actually interesting about this report is that people actually lie about having degrees. So it's not actually that they've exaggerated just their degree, but there's actually people who just lie about having a degree. I didn't know people did that. I had no idea people actually lied about, I have this degree. Because for me, you need to have that evidence, and normally don't people photocopy your certificates and everything, but clearly there's jobs out there. So there was this story on the Manchester Evening News website. So there was a man who actually lied about his degree to get a job, then conned the employer out of 50k in expenses. Can you believe? Wow. Can you believe that someone actually would do that? So he did this, and obviously he got into loads of trouble. It was reported. And so it's not to kind of stop people from being confident in themselves, but confidence has a balance. So there's low self-esteem, which is one extreme. It's really important that, you look at yourself, you love yourself, maybe in the mirror every morning, tell yourself how beautiful you are, or something along those lines. But then there's the other extreme of overconfidence, where you think no one's going to find out. You've told, I'm so good, and I'm just get into that job and be able to do this anyway, because that's so simple. It doesn't matter if I've lied about it. But that also causes
comes
danger.
back to bite you on the
bum.
bum.
It does. It really, really does. So there has to be, like you said earlier, a balance.
Yes.
So, and I believe in balance. So, yeah.
Candice, my darling, thank you so much for the fabulous news, and we'll see you again soon.
See you soon.
All right, guys, we do have one more thing before we go to break. Now, we all love to treat ourselves to something a little special now and then, especially the occasional sweet. But how do we make sure our sweet snack can be good for us too? Well, Danielle Shine has a recipe for us today for vanilla icing that we can enjoy on simple homemade bakery. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone! When I think about cake, I think about icing. It's my favourite part about eating cake. The only issue is traditional icing recipes, as well as the pre-made icing we can buy in the store, is often filled with artificial flavourings, colourings and processed sugar. All things that can affect our behaviour and send our blood sugar levels sky high. But there is a better way to make icing that's actually good for us, and that's what I'm going to show you how to make right now. So come and join me in the kitchen and let's make some icing filled with healthy fats, vitamins and minerals. Let's get started.
A cake is not a cake without icing, so I decided to make a healthy version you can enjoy guilt-free whenever you feel like a sweet treat. Soak raw, unsalted cashew nuts in water overnight. This will make them nice and soft. Drain and rinse them the next day before placing in a food processor with extra virgin coconut oil to help create a creamy consistency. Add your favourite natural sweetener. I alternate between raw honey, organic maple syrup, or agave nectar. Add the juice of half a lemon. You can also use a lime when you want to try a different flavour. Lastly, add a pinch of mineral-rich sea salt before securing the lid and blending on high. You'll have to stop to scrape down the sides every now and then until the icing becomes smooth and creamy. Depending upon the power of your blender, this can take up to 10 minutes to create. Once your icing is ready, enjoy it on cakes, muffins, bread, toast, with ice cream, or even as a healthy topping at breakfast time, because this is filled with healthy fats and natural ingredients that will help you feel satisfied and full. This icing spreads easily when made fresh, but you can also make it the day before, store in the fridge, and when ready to use, simply reblend to create that creamy, smooth texture. For decoration, you can top your icing with shredded coconut, chopped nuts, or even dried or fresh fruit. If you want to colour your icing, stew a small amount of frozen fruit in a small saucepan, then strain to collect the colour juice to mix in with the icing. You'll only need a couple of teaspoons to start the process. That's all from me for now. Enjoy this recipe and I'll see you again soon.
Thanks very much to Danielle. So do stay tuned because after the break we have our makeover reveal with Leah. Hi, I'm Chrissy B and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Welcome back to today's program, everyone, and we have had the privilege of spoiling someone very special today, and that's Leah. And here's a photo of her before. And now we're going to see her new look. Hello, Leah.
Hello.
Hello, gorgeous. Do you love it? I love it. It's absolutely wonderful.
I love it. I love it.
So I'd just like to introduce the two people that made this magic work happen today. So we have Nicola here, who's the hairstylist. Hi, Nicola.
Thank you so much for having me here tonight.
And we have Sanya as well, who did the makeup.
Thank you for having me again.
Brilliant job. Okay, so why is everyone come forward, guys, so the viewers can see? Come forward. Okay, so let's start with the makeup. So Sunny, why did you choose this particular look? What was it about Leah's features that
she's got amazing features? She's got amazing cheekbones, amazing eyes, amazing lips. And really, it was actually you that inspired me a little bit, because to me, Leah was like a modern day Julia Roberts, but then you mentioned Sophia Loren. So when you said that, I smoked out the eyes a little bit more. She's got gorgeous eyes, and what we've done is we've kind of gone for a daytime smoky eye. So we've used a cream. I love using cream eyeshadow because it actually, you can just go in with your finger and spread it on her eyelid, and then you use a powder eyeshadow just to set it all. And a smoky eye doesn't need to be like dark and disco. It can be like really kind of light, and it just brings out her beautiful eyes. And one way to lighten up a smoky eye is, if you can see just on the inner corner of her eyes, I put just little tiny bits of light, like a champagne pinky kind of color, and it really brings them out. And then also I want to talk about this woman's cheekbones because they're amazing. Her cheekbones are just to die for. So if you want to do a little bit of light contouring, not, not that hardcore contouring that we see a lot on the runways and magazines, it's a great idea to use kind of two different kinds of blush.
Okay.
So first I used a really kind of a neutral skin tone type blush. And these are both cream as well, so super easy to use your fingers. And you kind of go on her cheekbone, if you turn your head, and you literally go along the cheekbone. And then you add a brighter pop. So this is like very, very pink. But when you use it together with the kind of neutral blush, it really gives kind of depth and dimension to her cheeks. So, so well, not everyone has her cheekbones, but we can kind of fake it.
How about the lip colour? What made you choose that particular
she's got a total Julia Roberts smile, so like, see, there we go. So anything, I felt, because the smile is so beautiful, so we wanted to keep it neutral, because she's got beautiful lips, beautiful smiles, just to kind of like accentuate it a little bit. So a creamy kind of, what would I call that colour? It's a peachy salmon pink, I guess.
Really suits you. Now, do you normally do this with your makeup, or is it something completely different for you?
It's completely different. I'm not professional, so I just have to go to work and something really short time, and so just
something quick.
Quick and completely. So
thank you.
I have a lesson today.
Good.
Lesson.
So we also have the fabulous Nicole who did her hair. So quite a brave step to cut the hair quite short, but it looks amazing. Why did you choose this particular look for her, Nicola?
But to be honest, as soon as I saw Leah, I just been inspired by Julia Roberts as well.
Really?
And you named also Sophia Loren. So, from Italy, when I see movies from Sophia Loren, and I do get inspiration straight away. And then when I saw Leah tonight, I just said, you know what, I'm going to be inspired by Sophia Loren. And, looking at Leah, cheekbones and the cut of the eye, the smile, I was just prepared to cut the hair this length, so I was ready for it, and I knew it would look fabulous. So I just feel, she's got this texture here, very gentle, this kind of fringe that just slightly go to one side, and she can achieve a very soft movement. And also considering that, she's a TV producer as well for a job, she needs to have something quite easy to maintain in the morning. She just needs to wake up and just do things very easy.
What can she do in the morning when she wakes up?
Well, she just needs to, she doesn't need to use brushes because of the texture of her hair. She probably just needs to use tongs if she's familiar, I'm sure she does. And then probably she just needs to put the hair down, put a spray to achieve volume, and then just go out like this. It's very easy. Like, if you're just gonna put some hairspray, you see the hair that just follow in place. You just want to see this messy look. Julia Roberts, even better.
Yes, I agree.
What do you think?
Yes, definitely. Now, Nicola, since you're here, I just want to find out a bit more about you. How long have you been doing hairstyling for, and how did you get into it?
Oh gosh, that's an interesting question, because I've been doing hair for the past 8 years, and when I moved to London, I just said, oh, one day I'm gonna be hairdresser.
Yeah.
But then I've always been doing other things. I was very into flying all over the world, and then I decided to be a cabin crew, flying, and then I said, oh, there is something missing. I do love hair, I do love women, I love to make women feel feminine, sexy, and elegant. I said, what a way of starting hairdressing. I've been fortunate because I've also been working with talented people, and they taught me the principle of approaching hairdressing, and so yeah, that's me. I love my job.
I can tell you love your job.
And you know, I love changes, but I also love to make people feel comfortable. You know, that's very important when you change a hairstyle. And with Leah,
well, you can see the result, how happy you are.
Much better.
You look gorgeous. And just before you go, so Sunny, you actually have a YouTube channel, and
I
you do
do.
this, so
I do.
you've got lots of
So I do a lot of tutorials. I do makeup tutorials. There's a look similar to this on it as well. I do product reviews. I do some hair tutorials, and I love it. So I'm sure you guys will put it.
Yes,
a link
on our
somewhere.
website, chrissybshow.tv. You can get the information there, definitely. So thank you guys so much for this fabulous job. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you again soon. And Leah, you're going to stay with me, because after the break, you do have a story to tell us as well, because you've got a lovely smile, but things weren't so great not so long ago, and you're going to be telling us how things turned around for you. Okay, so see you after this break. Hi, I'm Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show, and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Welcome back to today's program, everyone, where we have had the privilege of doing a lovely makeover for our guest, Leah, here. Now, before we get to Leah's story, I'd just like to say that many times people feel like they've lost everything, and it's really, really difficult for them to see the light at the end of the tunnel. They feel very depressed because things didn't work out the way they wanted it to. So we met Leah briefly earlier, and as we saw, a beautiful smile, but she wasn't always smiling because she went through something quite difficult in her life, and there was a period when she was very depressed. So Leah, we're going to hear your story now. So take us back to when you were in Brazil, when it all started.
Yeah, I was younger, and I always dreamed to be an actress. And even my mom and parents said, oh no, and I have my degrees, everything else. I started my career around the 20s, my 20 years old. And then in the middle way, I met my ex-husband, and I get married. So I have 5 years, amazing. I still working, making my theaters and movies and everything else. And then he realized he was earning more than me, and he did the wrong question, but at the moment I didn't realize. You have to choose between our marriage and your career.
Gosh.
Yeah.
But why? Just because he was earning more money? They just wanted to.
Yeah, because he needed me to be what can I say? Just making company, because he was a businessman. He had to travel a lot, and the thing is, when you work in our area in TV, or you don't have weekends.
Yeah.
And he works in a completely different area. It's a banker and everything else. So the thing happened that he decided, oh, I spent 5 years with you. Without weekends, we couldn't go and travel because you were on the theaters. And so he did make me choose. And then I chose to stay with him, because I thought it's fair. And then that time we decided to try to have babies. But I in the natural way I couldn't. Then I spent 3 years making the artificial ways and inseminations, and that was really tough. Can I say that?
Yes.
It's really hard for me because every month was an expectation. I took the injections, and and then okay, you're pregnant, and then spend 2 months, and you lost again. And 3 years, month after month, doing that.
That must have made you feel very low.
Yeah, because you know the expectation, even the hormones that you injection you make your humor and everything. You be a month you are more sensible, feeling the things,
sensitivity.
and that's the hope. Because I wasn't younger, and then it's the age make me already a little bit worried about. And I have nothing in my body that makes I didn't get pregnant.
So they couldn't find anything
wrong with me. Anything, just because I aged. I'm aged enough. So I tried, and then he get tired of it, and my humor and the pressure came. Because I couldn't more 3 years, and I didn't get pregnant, and I stopped my career, everything. So I had the worst way, because it's like a panic. I couldn't come out at home and met my parents and met my friends. I
stayed home.
Yes, I couldn't even go.
So you really
walk.
fell into a deep depression then? Because
Deep. I had to take pills about it that time.
And had you already separated from your husband at this point?
No, he advised me to go to the magician to see the doctors to see what happened with me. And then I couldn't come out. I need somebody to help me. Come out, I need help, and nobody could. I didn't understand. Why don't you just take your car and go to the... I couldn't.
This is the thing, people don't understand. When someone's severely depressed like that, even to get up and actually take a shower in the morning is a battle, because you just don't have any strength, you don't have any energy to do anything. It's like there's no life inside of you. And it's really important for family members and friends to understand that if their loved one is going through depression, that's how it feels sometimes. And it's not just snap out of it or just do this. You can't. I've been there, I know as well.
Yeah, in that moment, nobody could. She has everything. She has a huge house. She has a husband. Everything. Why she get depression? And this is something that it's come from inside you.
Yeah.
And what happened? Then he realized it wasn't work out, and then he asked me to divorce, to separate.
So one more thing on top of everything else.
Yeah. But you know, that was good. That time, we're now friends. It's really strange. Everybody, come on. Yeah, we are best friends. Because we recognize that our history at the moment just finished.
Yeah. But then, Leah, you ended up in London.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Oh, that's the best part. Because when he asked me to get divorced, I wake up from the depression.
Really?
Yeah, just like that.
It kind of like gave you a bit of a push
you know,
in a way.
I just like that. It's like something, come on, wake up.
Wow.
And I recognize that I come out from home. Usually the people who ask for just go. And I make my luggage, everything, and I go to the how they say, like a hotel.
Okay.
And then I find a flat and rent everything. And I was, okay, I'm alive again.
Wow.
I'm alive. And then I recognize I have to find a goal. Because the reason that I get depression, everything, I didn't was doing what I used to be. I just let the life push me. It passed away. And I realized, I spent 12 years. And I did nothing. So I have a huge period of nothing in my life to explain that. I just get the feeling that I lost 12 years of my life. So then, okay, now hurry, let's go. And then I realized that I have to do it, and the thing, thanks God. I start to come out and meet new friends and rent a place. Okay, so I try to find a work in Brazil, but we have a huge crisis at the moment, the political crisis. I am not younger, so they thought, oh, it's really hard to find a job for you at the moment. It's Brazil. This is in Brazil, and okay. So I met Alexander, my actor husband.
Okay.
And
She says with a big grin on her face. That makes her smile the most when she talks about her husband.
Yeah, because he showed me that I am special. I can do something, and not because I'm sorry, I'm not ashamed to tell. I have 46 years old. So
a gorgeous 46-year-old.
And come on, you are pretty. You can do everything. What you want. And he showed me the way. Yeah. Come on, let's go.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's why I can't tell. Maybe that time that everything break in my life. So come on. That's the reason that I have to start a new thing. And now I recognize I'm doing by myself. For me, for my marriage, but I have a goal. I can pay my bills just by myself because I'm not depending just from like I was in my head, because I have to give up everything for him. And now that's the way I live and I grow up. My parents teach me that. So I'm back. and best of that, I'm back in London. It's not easy, but I'm loving it.
I can tell. So what's it like for you now being in London and having a job in TV, and how is it for you? Describe it.
It wasn't expected, first of all, because come on, it's where I could find a job. And then I can tell it's from God. It can be different from that, because the second language that I am best, it's English. I could go to Portugal, but I've never been, and I don't understand. They are not that fine. And for my career, like actress and like a producer, it's London.
Yeah,
it's London. What I can tell, everybody knows I have a chance here. Yeah. And then my husband also, he told, I'm working, and that's a place they are looking for a producer as well. Why don't you? And, okay. And we are working together.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yes, it's amazing. It's something really special, and I have to thanks that I have a second chance.
Yeah. And this is, as I said, going back to what I was saying earlier, it's so important not to give up. And I know, Leah, there are people that in your situation that have even taken their lives because they're sunk into such a deep depression and they couldn't see a way out. But it's like sometimes, not sometimes, always, you just need to hold on and ask for help. Because, things can turn around. You just don't know when it's going to happen, maybe. And sometimes you have to go out there and look for certain help, as I did as well. I had, my past as well, that it was difficult for me, but eventually I found the help. It is possible to start again, and it is possible to be happy again, because someone will say, but I can't recover from something like that. I can't recover from getting divorced. I can't recover from losing everything. But you can. People are stronger than what they think they are.
Yeah. That's completely true.
What advice would you give, Leah, to someone who maybe things haven't worked out for them and they're finding it hard to think of their future, they're finding it difficult? What would you say? What's the best advice that you could give to them?
It's really interesting. I can tell you, the first thing that you have to look at you in the mirror and say, you exist, you are special. And you can do anything that you want. Anything. Don't matter if you are blonde, you have a bad hair, a beautiful hair. No matter what, you can do anything that you want. You just have to give you a chance. Yeah. It depends anybody else. It's just you have to give by yourself a chance to give you. It's that the right thing. I can say that.
And it's important to It's the way of believing in yourself.
Yeah, because you always expect the chance comes from somebody else. But you have to
Create it.
to create the opportunity. And just like
Definitely.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things will change.
Yeah, that's true. Just wake up. Come on. I'm losing time. Come on, let's hurry. It's life.
Yeah, definitely. Leah, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. I'm so glad you've had fun today on the program. And I'm sure your story has inspired many people that maybe were even on the verge of giving up, but your story has inspired them. Your beautiful smile has inspired them. And all the best with everything that you're doing in London. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so please don't go away, because after the break, we do have some fitness tips for you, and also some tips from Dr. Rob Hicks about getting a good night's sleep. And also I'll be sharing my own tips on 5 ways to boost someone's confidence.
Hi, and welcome to Move 360 Studios. My name is Ben. We're here with the Chrissy B Show. And today is all about feeling good. So I'm going to get as many muscles working in the body as possible, so the whole body feels good. It feels like it's had a great workout and you end up feeling better. First exercise we're going to do, we just need a couple of dumbbells. If you haven't got dumbbells, just use some books, some cans, anything you've got at home. Just hold them in front of you. We're going to squat down and come up. Squat down and come up. Holding the dumbbells this way keeps your back nice and upright, and you get to work your biceps and your upper back at the same time as you're squatting. And you want to do about 10 to 12 reps of those squats. Then with your same dumbbells, we're going to go into a shoulder width stance, bend at the hips, nice straight back, and then pull through with the arms. So like a scarecrow, just a few teaching points. Just let the arms hang down, and then you're pulling back from the elbows. If you don't have weights, you can just hold yourself like this with the arms out and hold for about a minute. That'll be quite tough because that'll really work the extensors in the back. Okay, and now we're going to go on to our push-ups, which are down onto the mat. So you're just going to use your body weight. A few teaching points on how to do a proper push-up. Make sure your chin stays in. So watch me when you do it, and then I'll explain it again. So down, chin comes in. So a lot of people try and get their head down to the ground, which pulls you into very bad posture. So the chin comes forward. Make sure it's the chest that's going to the floor. And the elbows can stay about 45 degrees from the shoulder and pushing up from there. So watch me again on that. Okay, and then you should have a really good push-up that works your abs, your chest, your arms, pretty much your whole body along with the rest of the exercise. If you struggle to do a full push-up, you can do a slightly easier version, which you stay on your knees, so cross your feet at the back, but make sure again the same principles, the chin stays in, chest to the floor and back up. Okay, you don't want to do it like this, that's not a push-up. We're going to go here, hips come forward, chest comes down, chin stays in. That way we still work the abdominals, otherwise they just get left behind and no one wants to leave their abdominals behind. So talking of abs, we're going to go on to a more specific abdominal exercise. I call this navel radiation. The belly button is the navel, so we're going to radiate around it to work the abdominal wall. So lying down on your mat, spread out like a starfish, and then you're going to come up to the middle and then control back up. Okay, and open the arms and legs back where they were. Come up again. And control down. So when you're doing that one, try and keep your tongue to the roof of your mouth. That helps to use the right muscles in your neck. And try and breathe out as you come up and breathe in as you go back. And you'll really feel that start to work those abdominal muscles. And it's a great complement after the muscles we've already worked, so the whole body has got to work out in those 4 exercises.
Hi, I'm Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Welcome back to today's program, everyone, where we have been having another special makeover for someone, and we also heard Leah's story earlier. Now, if you know someone who deserves a makeover, maybe they've been going through a tough time, or maybe they just don't take time for themselves, and you think that they deserve a treat, do get in touch with us via the website, chrissybshow.tv. Now, before I get to my own tips on how to help others feel more confident, let's take a look at this video.
Hello and welcome to Doctor's Orders here at the Chrissy B Show. I'm Dr. Rob Hicks. Today we're going to talk about sleep. Now, we all know how important a good night's sleep is. Sleep helps our body and mind relax. During sleep we create memories, and our body goes through a process of repair, preparing us for the following day so that we can function well. On average, as adults, we need about 8 hours sleep a night. Now, that does vary from person to person. 1 in 3 of us, however, suffer sleep problems on a regular basis, and we all know how that feels when you don't get a good night's sleep. I mean, the following day you feel tired, your concentration isn't very good, you don't perform as well, your reaction times are slowed, and that of course puts people at risk of accidents. So when we're trying to solve the problem of poor sleep, it's ideal to try and identify what's causing it in the first place. So it might be something as simple as the environment not being good for sleep. So maybe the bedroom is too hot or too cold. Maybe it's not dark enough. Maybe it's too noisy, or maybe the bed just isn't comfortable enough. It might be that you have a medical condition like arthritis that's causing pain that keeps you awake at night. Or maybe you've got a breathing problem that wakes you up. Or you may have an infection. I know when I've had a cough or a cold infection, often I'm coughing during the night, and that certainly disrupts my sleep and leaves me feeling very tired the following day. It might be that you've used stimulants like caffeine or nicotine, or maybe you're taking a medication and one of the side effects of that medication is to disturb sleep. So if that might be the case, have a look at the information leaflet that comes with the medication. And quite often it's actually an emotional problem that's disturbing somebody's sleep. It's because of anxiety or stress or even depression. So when we're helping somebody to overcome their sleep problems, we try and identify what the problem is, but we do something called sleep hygiene. These are techniques and tips to help us try and get a good night's sleep, which after all is what we all desire. So one of the things is to try and go to bed at the same time each night and wake up at the same time each morning. And do that not only on work days, but also on your days off as well, so that your body gets into a routine about knowing when it's time for bed and knowing when it's time to wake up. Obviously avoid stimulants like caffeine before you go to bed. And exercise actually is very good for helping us to get a good night's sleep, but do it during the day. Don't do it close to bedtime, because if you exercise too close to bedtime, you may find it difficult to go off to sleep. Try and make sure that your room is comfortable for sleep, so that it's dark enough, it's quiet enough, the temperature is right, and your bed is comfortable. If it's because it's too light, then think about wearing an eye mask. If it's because your bedroom is too noisy, then think about wearing some earplugs. Then of course there are other things that you can do to help stop those worries and anxieties that often are the reason why somebody can't go off to sleep, because the moment their head hits the pillow, these things are just going round and round in their mind. Make a list of the things that are worrying you, or the things that you have to do the following day. Make that list on a piece of paper, on your smartphone, on your tablet, but do that in a room other than the bedroom, and then leave the list outside of the bedroom. That way, when you do go into the bedroom, you've taken care of that. You've put that to bed, so to speak. So you're prepared for sleep. You're not going to be worrying about that anymore. And the other important thing is no electronics in the bedroom. No phones, no computers, no TVs, because that will interfere with sleep. It won't allow you to relax into proper sleep. And remember, do keep the bedroom for sleep and for sex and nothing else. Now, if you have a problem with sleep, or you know somebody who's having problems with sleep, then do ask your doctor for some help and advice so that you can overcome that problem and get a jolly good night's sleep. And that's doctor's orders.
So how can we help others feel more confident? So maybe you have a partner or a friend that you can, it's a bit difficult sometimes to motivate them or for them to just be happy with themselves. So here are a few things that you can do. The first step is to accept them as they are. So don't complicate matters and don't look for things to criticize. Maybe you don't realize you're doing it, but for example, if you're questioning everything that they do and you're second guessing them all the time, it does actually make someone feel quite like, you know, they're not a good decision maker. So there are people who like to question every little decision someone makes. So for example, maybe your friend or partner says this is the way to the station, and then you're like, are you sure this is the right way to the station? It's just something small, but it's something that we can all fall into. So just trust them and try not to question everything that they say to you, and that will help them to some extent. My second point is to forgive. So if the person makes a mistake, be quick to forgive them and show them a bit of mercy, because as you know, we all make mistakes at some point in our lives. So if they're already feeling unconfident and badly about themselves, and you have, you know, you add on top of that, you make them feel even more guilty, that can make them sink quite low. So sometimes we do have unrealistic expectations of people, and that just makes them feel worse. So I remember once one of our psychologists coming on and speaking up about people with addictions, and she was saying something very, very interesting. When you're helping a family member to come off an addiction, sometimes it's not good to actually keep saying, oh, well done for another week of not going to that, of not smoking or not taking drugs. And because if they slip up, if they go and smoke, for example, if they go and start smoking drugs again or doing something, going back to the addiction, they actually feel like they're disappointing you. So sometimes it's best just to say, okay, that's good, but you know, let's now look forward to the next week. So sometimes it's the expectations of someone that makes them feel worse. So just be a bit careful about that too. My third point is to listen. So when your partner or your friend is speaking, listen without interrupting. So I know it's challenging at times, especially if you don't agree with everything the person is saying, and naturally you do want to jump in and correct the person. But some people really just need to be heard and accepted, and then they'll be more open later on to be helped. And there are people that don't actually express themselves as well as others do, and sometimes you just have to give them that time to try and verbalize what they're thinking, because if you keep jumping in and finishing their sentences for them, it's going to make them feel a bit stupid, to be honest. So just listen to them, even though you really want to jump in, but just give them that time that they need. My next point is to make plans. So when you're dealing with someone that isn't very confident, you may need to be the one that maybe organizes things or makes the plans to go out, although it might be really frustrating. And you know, but at the same time, you do have to understand that your friend or your partner might not be ready to take on that responsibility, especially if they're going through a mental health problem. Sometimes even getting out of bed can be really difficult for someone. So it doesn't mean that they're not interested or that they don't care about you. It's just sometimes people find things that for others is normal, they can find it quite challenging. So if you see that your friend or your partner is like that, support them and help them by making plans. And when they want to make plans or to do something, then when they're ready, they'll do it. And my fifth point is to get them some help, or get their help rather. So actually helping another person can sometimes boost confidence and self-esteem. So if there's something that you need help with, you can try asking your friend or your partner to assist you, and this will make them feel useful, but you have to be very, very careful here. You don't want to come across as though you're just giving them something to do to make them feel useful, because then they'll start to think, oh, this person feels sorry for me. So it has to be something that you do genuinely need help with, and when your friend or your partner helps you with this thing, it will actually make a difference to your life, because then that will be natural. Your reaction, your appreciation for that thing will be natural. So that's just 5 points that I wanted to share with you today, and I do hope it helps you. So we are reaching the end of today's program, but if you have a story that you would like to share on this program, or if you're going through something at the moment and you're not quite sure how to deal with it and you'd like to see a whole show dedicated to that topic, or you'd like to get help here on this show and actually be a guest, you can get in touch with us via the website chrissybshow.tv. You can also tweet us at Chrissy B Show, or leave a message on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. And if you'd like to know more about me and how I overcame depression and panic attacks and other mental health issues that I had, you can visit my personal website, mylifeafterdepression.com. Until next time, bye for now.
You can see, amazing. Yeah, I had a great time. It was special. I had the opportunity to talk about me by myself a little bit of my story. I hope it gives help to anybody of you that are watching the show. And I'm pretty.
I really like the pink.
Thank you.
Very nice. So, sorry.
The microphone is dropped.
I apologise.
Where was that? Was it? This might be a bit cold. Actually,
That's fine.
put it here.
I can take it.
You right?
Yeah. Been really worried
Sound
about
expert now. Tea lady, water bearer, sound expert.
Many things, many roles.
And the middle way, I get married. And
Absolutely.
hey, Phil.